Hi everyone, welcome to the Wednesday class. Hope you're doing okay. We're going to continue our adventure around all the meridians in the body today, and we've got another gallbladder point as point of the week. So we'll be getting straight onto that. I'm just going to close the door. Okay, Dinah's on the chat. Hi Dinah. Thank you very much for looking after the chat. And actually, I just want to make an announcement, which is we had our first weekend, our first element weekend last weekend, and we had 4 people from the community come and join the class, and it was so much fun. It was really, really brilliant. You know who you are. It was just so great. In fact, we had about 1/3 community, 1/3 first years, a few more first years and a few more second years. And then we had some visitors. We had Shayna from Vermont, who we've got an association with at the Shiatsu School of Vermont. And we had some assistants. And by the time they all got together, we had about 20 people in the room, and it was just a great atmosphere. So if you are one of the community members who love the Wednesday class and you just want to try out being in the class setting, you're most welcome to come. We actually can give you a free tutorial just to give you the basics of the techniques. And then you could join any one of the element weekends as they go through the year. And we're hoping that's going to be more and more popular. If you live locally, or if you can get to Norwich and do a weekend with us, would be absolutely great. So just bear that in mind, and we make it as easy as possible. We give you a free tutorial or a free introductory weekend. We give you 50% off the fees. So we're pretty much giving it away to people in the community to come in and join the class, just because we want to kind of spread that Shiatsu love vibe out into the community. That's our idea. And it worked really, really well. So just a little bit of a promo there for the element weekends, and we'll be sending out some emails soon. I'm sure we've sent some out. Shakura sent some out explaining how it works. We've got 5 element weekends through the year. You can join in whenever you want. You can go through the whole cycle. You can repeat the cycle. It's always different each year. That's it. Okay, cool. Let's go. I've got my pad. I've got my water. I've got everything I need. So it's time to think about what we're going to do today. I'm going to do some polls today and find out where your energy's at. I want to find out whereabouts energy's blocking, because we've got a very powerful point of the week, everyone, and I'd like to just really feel the energetic action of that point. So let's get straight on. Oh, look, Jacqueline's in the chat. Great. Yes, Jacqueline was one of the community members who joined us. It was really great. And it was quite funny because we did a circle of experience to start with. So everyone went into a circle depending on the number of years they'd been experiencing Shiatsu as either a giver or a receiver. And right over this side of the circle, where the most experienced people were, all the community members were right over here. And it was absolutely incredible to see them in class. They had so much knowledge that they could bring into the class, which is what I was kind of hoping was going to happen. So it worked out really well. Okay, so let's get on with the scanning. Let's find out where we're at. Always a good idea. And we're going to just do a whole body scan again, and then we'll do a 3-burner scan. And I've got a couple of polls I'd like to ask you just to find out where in your body you'd like to work, because some of the points that we're going to experience today have specific actions. Okay, so here we go. Let's just arrive in the space. So we're just taking a moment just to forget about everything that's gone on before, everything that's going to go on after this 1 hour we've got together. We're just going to protect this 1 hour. Just arrive into the space, feel the presence of your body on all levels. Okay, and we're going to do a whole body scan. So let's scan right from the top of the head. We're going to go down through the top of the head, scanning down through the eyes, ears, jaw, throat, okay, shoulders, arms. So we're going to scan down like this, and then down through the 3 heaters. So we've got the lungs and heart, the diaphragm, we've got the abdomen, and we're also scanning the back. So we're scanning right the way through, all the way down, through the knees and ankles and feet. Okay, now we're going to just take a moment. I'm just going to close my eyes and get an overview of how my energy is. We've got that, and then we're going to turn that into an image and draw that on the piece of paper here. Okay, it doesn't have to look like a person, it's just like an energy drawing. So just drawing how you're feeling. It can be completely abstract if you like. Okay, so that's our whole body scan. And now we'll do another add-on to that. So we're going to do the scan of whether we're feeling, we did this last week I think as well, whether we're feeling too up or too down. And because there was a reason for that we will explore when we do point of the week, okay? So just standing where we are, it's just closing our eyes. Do you feel that your energy is a little bit too up? In other words, is it more in your head? Is it going upwards into your shoulders? And when I say your energy, I mean where your awareness goes to. Where does your awareness go to naturally? Or does it naturally go downwards to your feet and down into the earth? Or is it kind of more or less balanced either way? Okay, and then you can just put a note on the whole body scan. The way I do is I just do a drawing of an arrow. So if you feel like your energy is going way up, you draw a massive arrow upwards, and if it's going way down, an arrow downwards, and if it's in the middle, you just draw a circle or something in the middle. So I'm going to do my arrow. Okay, very good. And then we can do the 3 burner scan. We've had some pretty massive shifts in the burners over the last few weeks. Really quite a surprise. It's really been shifting towards the middle burner. So we'll see whether that's continued or whether we've gone back to more of a lower and upper burner pattern as a group. So here we are. We've got our 3 blank spaces. So let's scan those 3 burners. Okay, as we've been doing this for quite a while, I think what we'll do is we'll scan all the way through, create an image, and then just draw when we've done all the 3 scans, okay? So let's start off with the lower burner. We can just close our eyes, scan into the lower burner, which is this kind of bowl between the sacrum, the front of the abdomen, below the navel, and round into the sacroiliac joint and all around here into this part here. Okay, cool. Get an idea of what that's like, and turn that into an image. And then we're going to shift up onto the middle burner. That's this area here below the diaphragm and above the navel and round into the lower thoracic. Okay, an image of that, and then up into the upper burner. That's the lungs and the heart. Okay, and a good question to ask ourselves is, do all those 3 areas feel the same? Do all those 3 burners feel the same? And the chances are pretty high that they won't. There'll be differences. And so you can ask yourself, what is the difference between the 3 burners? Turn that into an image. And then we can draw it on our 3 burner scan. So I'm going to do mine now. Okay. Excellent. So we've got our whole body scan and our arrow, and we've got our 3 burner scan ready to go. So I've got 3 polls for you today. What I want to do is I want to ask you, first of all, where in the body would you like to work, okay? Right. Where in your body do you feel the block or the weakness that you'd most like to work? Okay, and I just want to get to kind of a location here. I'm going to run the poll. Just have a look at this. Okay, so basically, where would you most like to work? Is it the head and neck, the shoulders, the limbs, or the back and the spine, or the main part of the torso? So let's just have a look and see. And the reason for that, the reason I'm asking is because of the action of the point of the week. In terms of what can happen to it. And we're going to use that point of the week to, to activate various things. Now look at that. This is often happens when we do this particular poll. If you remember, we've done this several times over the last 2.5 years that we've been doing the Wednesday class. And I would say that probably previously we've had even more head, neck and shoulders as being the dominant area that you'd like to work on. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of back and spine there. We've got nearly, like over a quarter, and we've got, but the majority is head and neck. Okay, so we can use the Gall Bladder channel, and particularly this week's point of the week to do that. So the next question I'd like to ask you is it your energy 2 up, 2 down, or about right? Let's see if this has changed from last week when we did it. Let's have a look, because I remember last week there was a predominance of too much energy up. Now, have we managed to correct that and balance it out with the Wednesday class, or do we need to do much more work on it? And it looks like my instinct was right here. We need to do some more work. Look at that. In the past we've done this. We've got a perfect distribution, exactly even all the way around. So the group as a whole is kind of like balanced either way. But look what's happened. The same thing has happened last week. We've got by far a majority too ungrounded. So we're getting a pattern here where we've got quite a lot of spine, head and neck work needed, and we've got energy moving up as a group. I know there's exceptions to that, but that's the general pattern of the group. So let's figure out what's happening with the burners. This is the final poll. You'll be happy to know which is the burner you want to work on today, and let's find out whether it's changed. Okay, anyone else want to vote? Look at this. It's shifted back. It's shifted away from the middle and the upper, and we've got that lower burner, which has come out on top for the first time for a long time. And that's really interesting because as we're moving into winter, the kidney energy tends to go down, especially around this time of year, like mid-November, and that's going to affect the lower burner. It also can be affected by long-term stress and things like that. So we've got a lower burner predominance today, so we can work with that. So it's interesting, we've got a lower burner dominance, we've got quite a lot of stuff going on in the head, and we've got a general tendency for the energy to rise up. So let's go. If you're an exception to that, like if your energy is too down or you're an upper burner person, that's absolutely fine, because all of these things are connected and we can work with them. And you'll find that all the points and techniques we do are kind of homeostatic anyway. So if you need to adjust it a different way, opening up the space will allow that to happen. Okay, so here we go. Right. So what we can do to start off today, really good idea to do some shaking. And the reason for that is because shaking is really good for getting energy to move downwards, but it also is very good for releasing, especially the upper body, the spine, and even the limbs and the joints. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our alignment to start with. So we're going to relax the feet on the ground, gently pull the top of the head up with this imaginary golden thread, open up the armpits, relax the hips. Just take some nice easy breaths. We want to start doing that immediately because we've got to get that lower burner as strong as we can in the early stages of the session today to start balancing out that tendency for the energy to go up and to obstruct in the upper body. Okay, so just keep those feet really relaxed. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to start off shaking. We'll start off shaking by imagining that this thread above is being pulled up and down. And that image is really useful for the spine because what it does is it allows us to imagine the spine opening out. Another really good image is to imagine your sacrum. This is this big bony bit at the bottom of the spine. Just imagine that like a weight that's kind of making the spine spring, like one of those springy toys that open up like this. Yeah, so we're just like this. Sacrum's hanging down and the spine is opening up. We're shaking gently down the spine. There we go. Now, another really good thing to do is scan down our spine. Okay, and see if there's any particular places in the spine that you'd like to release or you'd like to really open up. And here's an interesting thing to check in on is different parts of the spine, as we did at the weekend. Those of you who were here at the weekend will remember that different parts of the spine relate to the different burners. So you might find that if you're an upper burner person, you need to shake out that upper part of the body, upper part of the thoracic spine. If you are a middle burner person, you want to go and shake out this part of the spine. And if you're a lower burner person, you want to get this part really opened up. So let's just keep that going for a bit, scanning down, extending the spine, allowing the spine to open out. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm scanning down, finding the places I most want to release, giving them a bit of a shake, scanning down again, finding some other place. So you'll find that when you release one part, another part will start going, woo. Keeping those feet nice and planted on the ground, floating the head up. Keeping the hips relaxed. Opening up the armpits. Okay, great. Okay, so now let's start working on the horizontal structures of the body. So we've got the shoulders. So let's do that first. So we've got the spine, opening up this way, doing, okay? And now it's time to go this way, sideways out. So I'm going to start shaking and opening up the shoulders, keeping that awareness of the spine, shaking up and down. Going down into the elbows. Down into the wrists and the fingertips, right down to the fingertips. Opening up the shoulders. And then going back into the spine again, making sure that the spine is bouncing around nicely in the center and that the arms are nice and free and opening out. Got that jaw, keeping my jaw open as well. Okay, what does that feel like? Pretty good, eh? Can you feel that movement there nicely opening up down through the arms? So the next horizontal structure we've got is the rib cage, which opens from the sternum and it goes back and it connects in with the thoracic spine at the back here. So what we want to do really now is to get that whole rib cage moving. So I'm going to keep the spine shaking up and down and I'm going to move backwards and forwards, opening out the rib cage, moving all the ribs around as much as I can, just to see if there's any constriction anywhere. Okay, so I'm doing it from the side, I'm doing this kind of thing, moving this way. Keeping the spine in the center, moving the rib cage, and imagining it all opening out this way, okay, and at the back there. Hey, right, okay, cool. Okay, then we go down into the diaphragm, and now we're going to keep the head bouncing around again, the sacrum's hanging down, and we've got the shoulders released, we've got the rib cage really released. Okay. The diaphragm starting to release. We're just going to shake the internal organs. This is all in the abdomen. They're all kind of floating around there. They all kind of move around freely. So if we just bounce them up and down a bit, we're going to get a slight feeling of massaging the diaphragm from underneath. If you bring your awareness to the diaphragm, you'll feel the internal organs just gently kind of going like this. And then back into the spine again. Keep that spine bouncing, keep your shoulders open, rib cage free, diaphragm free. Very good. Okay, and we've got the internal organs nice and relaxed, which brings us to the last really big horizontal structure of the body, which is the hips. Okay, so the hips, you probably know the hips kind of go right into like a socket here, into a big socket. And there's a very strong tendency when we get stressed to tense up the hip and the hips, and kind of all these muscles and everything go tight here, and the connective tissue gets all kind of blocked up there. So a really nice thing to do is to keep that sacrum and the head bouncing, but we're opening the hips out a bit like we opened out the arms. Okay, we do that with our mindset by imagining the hips going this way as we shake. And bring our mind deeply into the inside of the joint. Got that? Keeping the knees soft, really deep into the hips. Okay, you can feel it right through into here. And if you want to get a bit more movement, then we can stand on one leg. If you can do that, if you can't stand on one leg, you can get a chair and hold on to it like this, and then opening out the hip. And Takajara yoga, where you can stand on one leg like that and do that shaking. I'm not taking any chances this morning. I'm going to take it nice and easy. Okay. Shaking out. A bit of rotation there. And we can shake out all the way down into the ankles there. Okay, brilliant. I'll need that chair in a minute. I'll put it out of the way for now. Very good. So let's get back into that bouncing. Hips, knees, and ankles. Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's put it all together. Spine, don't forget we're pulling here, sacrum. Jaw, shoulders, all the way down, elbows, wrists and fingertips. Rib cage, diaphragm, abdominal organs, hips, knees, ankles and feet. Okay, and then we have it all together, shaking away, relaxing. Okay, excellent. And just come back to standing and just check in to see how we're feeling, okay? And you'll probably find that your energy is much lower now. It's dropped down a lot more towards your feet, and it's a very good chance that you're already starting to feel release in your upper, in your head and neck and down the spine, especially that expansion of the spine movement with the shaking we're using the mindset. It's really good for opening up any compressions in the spine, which is really important for all the internal organs and everything, because all the nerves come out from the spine and they go into the internal organs. So a good way of regulating all the internal organs is just to get the spine opened up and released. Okay, excellent. What a great start. So now we've got the physical structure starting to really move about and release. It's time to get our breathing sorted out, because we've really got to get that lower burner as strong as we can. So let's just see what we can do straight away, and then we'll work on the famous kidney one and see whether that can help us get that lower burner as strong as possible. So we're going to rub our hands together. Place it over the lower dantian, or the lower center of the body, which is just below the navel here. Okay. Back into the spine again, head floating up, sacrum hanging down, feet nicely planted on the earth, on the floor. Okay, let's do 3 breaths and see if we can get that breath right down into the whole of the lower burner. Are you ready? Okay, so here we go. We're breathing in. Okay, you should feel this starting to expand here as the diaphragm drops down. Okay, we're going to hold it. We're going to imagine the breath filling up this whole area and into the back here. And then slowly breathing out. And as we breathe out, we just imagine the air is coming out. We imagine that the energy from the breath is staying there into the lower burner. Okay, second time. Here we go, breathing in. Hold it. And slowly breathing out. Third one, breathing in. Hold it. And then breathing out. Okay, now probably what will happen is your hands probably get warm. And there's a feeling now of warmth and energy starting to build in the lower abdomen and in the lower burner here. And that's just what we want. Okay, so why don't we use our favorite point, the most yin point of the body, which also can open up the kidney channel, to start to really strengthen up this area combined with the breath. So that would be a pretty good thing to do because we've got a preponderance in the group of energy going up. At least we did have, but I bet you it's changed already with the shaking, quite a bit with the shaking, and also because we need to get that lower burner as strong as possible. So we're going to get my chair, and I've got just here. There we go. Okay, now as we're doing the gallbladder meridian at the moment, you might be interested to know where the gallbladder meridian is going to end up. We've already started here, which is gallbladder 1. We've gone round to gallbladder 20, and we've gone up. I nearly gave it away. Today we're going to go further down, and we're going to find another point of the week. And you can see it's on the side of the body. It goes down through the sides here, and it's going to end up on this little second to little toe here. Okay, that's the gallbladder toe. The gallbladder meridian runs down through the ankle. It's often involved when you have like ankle sprains and things like that, because it runs right through this area here, where you get a sensitive point if you do sprain your ankle. It runs down through into this toe here. Okay, the reason I'm mentioning it is because we can make a little bit of a start on opening up the gallbladder channel in the leg, in the foot, I should say, by just stretching the foot this way. And that also opens up the liver channel, which runs here through the famous liver 3 point, which we'll be doing next month in our final meridian of our epic 1 year cycle. The liver meridian is the final channel, and it will come round, comes back up and joins up with the lung again, and then you have these 12 channels all creating one single circuit around the body. It's absolutely amazing to see that. And on the last session before Christmas, what we'll do is we'll put them all together, and I'll take you on an incredible loop around the body of all the 12 channels, and you'll see how that they all join up, and you'll see how they're activated at different times of the day. It's an amazing thing, and it's taken us 1 year of preparation to get there, to be able to do that. So here we are. Look, now I'm focusing more on kidney 1. Okay, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a tap. And I'm going to hold kidney 3 as well with my thumb. The reason for that is because kidney 3 tends to tonify the kidney energy as well. This is more for the kidney yin and for the total yin of the body. What that means is it calms the body, and it's also the main point in the whole body system that's used to treat the head, because the principle of Shiatsu and acupuncture using the meridians is that you tend to work the opposite end of the channels if there is excess. So if you've got too much going on in your head, and quite frankly, who hasn't got too much going on in their head these days? Almost everyone. Kidney 1 is such a powerful point because it helps balance out that tendency to be dominated by the head, as we are, because most of us spend most of our time looking at computer screens and making decisions and kind of looking and going into the supermarket and thinking, which of the 20 brands of biscuit am I going to buy today? All those things affect the liver and gallbladder, affect the eyes, and they bring energy up into the head. So that's why kidney 1 is probably the single most important point to balance out the Western lifestyle, okay? And that's why it's so useful for us to do that on a weekly basis. It would definitely help us survive. the general tendency in modern life for it to be visually dominated, and also for it to be, especially in capitalist societies like we have a lucky, most of the time we have lots of choice to make, even about things that perhaps we don't want to spend quite so much of our energy making choices about, like I say, which type of biscuit to buy and so on. Okay, so let's stretch out the liver meridian. The liver and the gallbladder meridian are related in Chinese medicine to decision making. The liver's more to do with long-term planning, and the gallbladder channel is more to do with decision making. Yeah? So if you just can't make any decisions, what you'll need to do is just come here and give this second little toe a massive squeeze until your mind's clear enough to decide exactly what you want to do. And we've got kidney 1 in here as well, obviously. So I'm opening up the liver and the gallbladder channels. And tap this kidney 1. There we are. Nice. Okay, very good. The reason we want to use kidney 1 is because it's a yin point, it tonifies, it helps us connect with the earth, it helps us strengthen up the lower burner, but also because it's got a downward action. So you notice that most of us, the majority in the group, wanted to work on the upper body, and as I was just mentioning, in acupuncture and shiatsu, we tend to work the opposite end of the channel. So let's see what's happened now. What we've got now is we've got a combination of our boing, 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 boing spine release. Okay, so just get back into that again, get that head floating up, sacrum hanging down. But now we have the added ingredient. And if you focus in on your kidney 1 point, you'll notice that suddenly the spine has a completely different feeling of strength and expansion through the feet. So if we tune into the feet, okay, tune into kidney 1, open up the ankles, knees and hips. What a wonderful feeling that is, of having that spine opening up, plus that feeling of connecting down into the earth. And that's the power of kidney 1 in terms of connecting with the lower burner and also with the spine and the whole energy field as a whole. Okay, excellent. So now let's check in with the breath again and see whether working that kidney 1 point has helped us anchor the breath more in the lower burner. Let's just check it out with one breath and see what happens. Okay, relaxing, getting that spine relaxed, opening up the armpits. Okay, hand just below the navel there. And let's just do one breath, breathing in. Hold it, focusing in on kidney 1, holding the breath, and breathing out slowly. Okay, now did you notice how much easier it was to keep that breath sinking downwards into the lower burner? And the reason for that is because kidney 1 increases the yin in the body, it increases the connection with the earth, and it increases that whole kind of feeling of solid in the lower body. Okay, awesome. So now it's probably time that we did a little bit of doing and started to work on some of the other burners, because we've got to fit in point of the week before we finish. So let's just do a little routine now. We're going to go around all the leg channels as a sequence. We'll start off with kidney and bladder, and then we'll shift up to the middle burner and release the gallbladder, liver, and stomach and spleen channels. Are you ready for this? Okay, if this is too much for you, maybe you're feeling a little bit too tired, you might want to just sit down. You can even just think through. If you're really tired, just think that you're doing it rather than tapping. But if you're kind of feeling pretty much okay, you're feeling grounded, you want a bit more activity, then you can start doing some tapping. We're going to start tapping up from kidney 3 here behind the ankles, up the kidney channel, up here onto the abdomen. Okay, this is the lower burner I've got here. Round onto the sacrum, and then down the back of the bladder channel, down the back of the bladder meridian, down the back of the legs, down into the ankles, and then up the kidney meridian again. Okay, up. Again, that's just going to open up the spine a bit more and also open up the connection with the lower burner there. Okay, so we go up through there into the lower burner. Okay, just one more time. Okay, right, good. Now, you feel like just starting to open up this kind of even bit stronger feeling there of the connection between the feet and the lower burner. Really good. So now we're going to switch up into the middle burner here. If you middle burner people, and we're going to tap around here between liver 13 and liver 14. Okay, tapping around here just gently, and we go down into the gallbladder channel. Okay, now here's a little bit of a reminder that we're doing the gallbladder channel this month. So we've already gone down as far as here, and we'll be going down further this way. We'll be picking up these points here later on in the month. We start off here and we're down outside of the legs, up the inside. We're down outside. Up the inside. Okay, this is the gallbladder channel, so we've got gallbladder here, gallbladder, gallbladder, gallbladder. Here's some important points just below the knee here, gallbladder 34 right on the outside. That's used for releasing tendons anywhere in the body. So you go up here. Okay, excellent. So that's the liver and gallbladder, and that's the channel that we use to help us freely turn the body, kind of a bit like that whole decision-making thing. Am I going to choose those biscuits or those biscuits? Okay, so that's the gallbladder and liver channels. And then we've got the front of the body, stomach and spleen channel that goes down here. Really good way also for opening up the middle burner. So we'll go down the stomach channel. Don't forget to tap just below the knee again. Here's stomach 36, the famous 3-mile point. Very good for the general overall energy of the body, balancing out the digestive system. Down we go into the ankles and then up. Down the stomach channel again. And up the spleen channel. This is the one here. There we go. Brilliant. Okay. Now, if you're a middle burner person, okay, and just going to shake out my legs here, you might find that your breathing is much easier now, and I will find out why in a minute. We're just going to do a little bit of twisting just to really open up the middle burner here. So we're focusing the twist here, keeping the hips straight and turning like this, opening up the middle burner like this, okay? Let's do that for a few swings. Okay, now if you're a middle burner person, pretty good chance that there's going to be congestion around the diaphragm or maybe around the liver or the stomach, and that can affect the way the diaphragm moves downwards. So let's check out by doing one more breath how this feels. Now you will notice that the legs now feel completely kind of energized by all the channels being worked. There's going to be a nice feeling of connection between the legs and the middle burner here. Place our hands on the lower burner again. Okay. Going to relax the middle burner as much as we can. I'm focusing in on my diaphragm here, focusing in on here, keeping it really relaxed, okay? And then open up the spine, get that head floating up and the sacrum hanging down again, just a little bit of a bounce there, just make sure that's all free. And now it's time to take a breath in. So here we go, breathing in, aiming it down towards the lower burner. Ready? Breathing in. Okay, there we go. Okay, breathing in, hold it. Keep that feeling of awareness in kidney 1 as well as relaxing the middle burner. Stay with the breath and then breathe out. Okay, middle burner people, did you notice that? So much easier to bring the breath down, and that's because we've already started to really open up this area here. That's the middle burner below the diaphragm and above the navel. Okay, excellent. So now it's time for the upper burner before we get on to point of the week. So we have the lungs, the pericardium, and the heart organ itself, all in the upper bona here. Okay. So let's just test out. Let's just do 3 stretches and just see how the channels feel. We've got this stretch here. This is the lung stretch that goes up into the thumb. So we take a deep breath in, breathe out, and stretch up and back. And tune into that feeling down from the thumb into this area here. Okay, just check out that out, see what it feels like. It might feel kind of weak, might feel a bit kind of like soft and open, or it might feel tight, okay? It can be either of those, or maybe it feels just right, who knows, okay? So now we're going to check this out. This is the pericardium channel, breathing in, breathing out, focusing on our middle finger, stretching backwards. How does that feel in comparison to the lungs? Does it feel tighter, or not as tight, or about the same? That's the pericardium stretch, and that feeling you can feel into the chest is connective tissue pathways that have embryological connections between the internal organs and the limbs as they develop. And part of what we do with Shiatsu and acupuncture, we basically open up those embryological facial connections, which help relax or tonify or adjust the feeling of the internal organs. So we've just got one more to do. So the pericardium is the muscle around the heart. It's kind of like it's part of the sheath of the heart. And so this one is a bit deeper. This is the heart channel. Place our hands together, bring them up, open up the armpit, okay? And then just let your hands go backwards like this, backwards, and then point them behind you. So your point going this way. Keep the elbows open like that. No, don't bring the elbows in, bring them out. And feel the sensation between the little finger and the armpit through the elbow. Okay, and that's the heart channel connection. Okay, so that's the 3 main channels in the arm, 3 main yin channels in the arm that connect into the upper burner. So let's balance them out. Now, what you can do for your own particular version of this is remember what those stretches felt like. If they felt really a bit tight, then we can do some tapping and get that moving. If they felt kind of like a bit weak, maybe you don't want to tap, maybe you want to hold and just give some more energy into that area. So that's really up to you, okay? Now I'm going to just see what I think. I'm just thinking they actually feel pretty much the same. I would say probably the heart channel is the one that feels the weakest, and the lung channel feels a little bit blocked on me, okay? But I'd like you to just adapt it depending on how you felt those stretches. Okay, so we're going to start off with the lung. So we're either going to tap or we're going to hold all the way down, and we're aiming down towards the thumb. This is where the lung channel runs. It runs right into the thumb there. Okay, so I'm going to tap myself, but you might want to hold. Start off at lung 1. Bit of a cough. Sorry, that's a bit of expelling of pathogen from the lungs, which can happen, especially if you get lung 1 there, and start working down. Lung 5 from the elbow, and then down into the thumb. Now, what we can do to make a circuit is we can go to the large intestine channel. If you remember this would have been February we did this. It goes back up this way into the shoulder, and that provides a circuit. There we go. Yeah, I'm just going to squeeze the thumb and the first finger, rush off, and do the other side. So we've got lung 1. It's just, you go from the clavicle and just go down, slightly down there, you'll find lung 1's just in this area here. And just tap around there, and then go down towards the thumb, and then up again. There we go. There we go. So we've got that circuit between the lung and the large intestine. Woo, okay, quick stretch just to see what's happened. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit easier for me to do this. Let's just see. Breathing in, breathing out. Yeah, sure enough, that's just a little bit more comfortable there, opening up. So that's how you test the lung channel and work it. Then we've got pericardium. And again, if you want to hold, that's fine, down like this, rather than tapping, if you feel that's more appropriate for you. Actually, that does feel quite good, doesn't it? I'm going to tap gently, I think. Tap gently down here. Onto the palm. We've got our famous calm point there. Pericardium 8. And then if we go up this way, we can go up the triple heated channel all the way up the outside of the arm. Okay, so it's pericardium. And pericardium and triple heater. Okay, very good. I'll do the other side. Particularly watch out for any congestion around here. I think I've mentioned this before in the Wednesday class. We're getting a lot of this at the moment with a lot of stress going on, especially the upper heater obstruction. And what that can cause is like a real stiffness here. And we've done at least 2 or 3 treatments this week where I've had to work really deeply in here and get that moving because it can just lock up completely. And so if you feel it's obstructing, it feels good to do it. It's good to give it a good tap, get all this area loosened up, and then down the channel, down towards the middle finger, and then up again. To the shoulder. You see what I'm doing? I'm going down the pericardium and up the triple heater to make a circuit. Okay, very good. So now it's time for the heart. I'm going to kind of palm that. I'm just going into heart 1. That's right in the armpit here. You might remember that. And I'm just going to squeeze down. I'm just going to kind of do more of a tonifying kind of soft shiatsu treatment here. Going down towards here, down to the famous heart 7, that point for insomnia, really good point for calming the mind. So I'm just squeezing down either with my palm or my thumb. I'm just gently holding that point. And remember what we do is we open up and we imagine a circuit around the chest area, and that has a very calming action in the upper heater, ideal for insomnia or even just general stress and anxiety. Very relaxing point. Okay, and then we come back up. This is the small intestine channel at the back that comes up into the back of the shoulder. Okay, now you might want to tap that, it's up to you, or do what I'm doing, which is just palming and holding. So we're going down this way to the little finger. Okay, this is the heart channel. Actually, that does feel really good, actually, just to hold it with the palm. Very calming. Just palming there, right down the inside. The arm. I'm just focusing on this bit here. Thumbing down. Then down onto the little finger there. Lovely. Okay. And then if you want to squeeze up the small intestine channel, just to finish the circuit off. The main thing is just to get hold of that heart 7, gently press it and open up this whole circuit here to give you a really calm feeling. Okay, so let me just check that. Let's just check the pericardium. Actually, that does feel really comfortable. And then the heart, which felt a little bit stiff and weak for me. Let's just see if that's changed. Nice, yeah, got a nice warm feeling there going up through the channel. So you can adjust the technique to tapping or holding and pressing and holding points. We know quite a lot of points now if you want to just basically strengthen up the channel. If it feels kind of weak or kind of weak and kind of cold or just generally deficient, then you want to be more tonifying. If you've got obstruction though, like I did with my lungs, I feel a bit full, then it's better to tap really. You'll get more of a movement there. So it's a combination of either moving or kind of tonifying and strengthening things up. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left, people, and it's time to get that point of the week. Okay, and we're going to just build up to it because we're going to do a bit of a face routine, and we're going to go from the face down from gallbladder 1 down to gallbladder 20, and then we'll go down to the next point of the week. Okay, so let's just do a nice little head routine. I'll come in and give you a bit of a close up here. There we go. Okay, so let's first of all just stroke and wipe the face, particularly the eyes, because the eyes are related to the liver and the gallbladder channel. Okay, and then we go onto the sides of the head, down onto the neck, pull the ears, okay, wiping the forehead. This is a very nice technique where you hold the forehead and you just move the head, and you go round. This is where the gallbladder channel starts. This is bladder 1, remember this point here? Just here, really nice calming point for the eyes. Wiping the eyes again. And just around here, we have gallbladder 1. Just relax. Small amount of pressure, aligning the spine, opening up the armpits, allowing the energy to run into the fingers, and then just gently sending the energy into the eyes through gallbladder 1, very relaxing. Okay, and then we're just going to work around here, the upper sinuses. These are all stomach points, as you probably imagine, because they're at the front of the body. Oh, I could do with this. There we are. I think this is, and this one is used for clearing, welcome smell, for clearing the sinuses out. So it's a general kind of working around here, around this piece here, and this one. Okay, and around here, checking out the jaw, working around. This is a really nice thing to do, is to work around pressing in around the top of the gums, and that's because the large intestine channel runs through there. It's really good. And the lower gums here, pressing in, that's the stomach channel. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, right. So now we've got gallbladder 1, if you remember, and the gallbladder channel runs around the side of the head, and it runs right into the neck, right into this hollow here. And that's where gallbladder 20 is. It's a great point, really good, particularly for the eyes, and it's also good for the neck. And it basically opens up the whole neck as well. So I like to give it a good squeeze like this. Some people even tap the gallbladder channel, but I prefer to just squeeze it. Oh, so good. And then gently placing the thumbs into those hollows there and aiming up towards the opposite eye. You can sometimes just tip your head back like this and open up this occipital ridge there. Feel that opening out, and if you can feel it in the back of your eyes, you know you've got that point absolutely right on. Okay, brilliant. And we go down, and now we're going to get to point of the week, which is again one of the most powerful points in the whole body. It's a really famous point, and it's this one. Okay, gallbladder 21. So just as a quick revise, we've got gallbladder 1 here, benefiting the eyes, just to the outside of the eye, if you remember. And then we've got gallbladder 20, we just did that, right in that hollow there. And now we've got this one, gallbladder 21, and it's right on the top of the shoulder, halfway between the spine and the edge of the shoulder joint, as you can see there. That's just the top of the spine. It's exactly halfway. So you'll find it around here in the body. Now look, shoulder well, it's called, stiffness and pain in the neck, shoulders and arms. And that's why I thought it'd be really interesting to find out where in the group we had the most obstruction. And you can see why I thought this was such a good point. Anger and frustration, it's to do with decision making And if your plans are not as you want them, or your life's not going exactly as you want to, then that can obstruct the gallbladder and you get anger and frustration. So this is a great point for that. And by the way, if you are pregnant, this is contraindicated because it has a strong downward action. And I've used it many times myself when I've been helping women get ready for birth. It's very painful. I've even used that point in a clinical setting in the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital when I helped an induction there once, and I had the woman wired up, and I was working with the midwives, and I was using that point, large intestine 4 and spleen 6 and other points. And I could actually see the action of the point on the monitor there, because you could see the contractions getting stronger as I worked that point. So I know it works. Okay, so if you're pregnant, avoid gallbladder 21. And here we go. So we're going to integrate this in. And the reason I wanted to kind of do everything we've done today is because gallbladder 21 has an extremely strong downward action. That's why it's contraindicated in pregnancy. So I thought, because it clears the head and it has a downward action, it would be perfect for us today, because we had mostly upward energy and mostly the head and neck in the poles. Okay, we've already addressed the lower burner issues with the thing. So now we do just a bit of tapping and we'll be perfect for the week ahead. So opening up kidney 1, getting that bouncing feeling back into the spine, relaxing and opening the shoulders, the rib cage, the abdomen, the hips, the knees and the ankles, the feet. Okay, and we're going to just remind ourselves where the gallbladder channel is by just tapping down around the sides of the head. And now it's time for gallbladder 21. I like to sometimes support my elbow here, and you want to get right on top of the shoulder. It's right here, okay? So we can tap it directly downwards. And to get the full effect, we want to free up the whole energy field as much as we can. Gently tap the point, just gently tap it. And now open up the shoulder joint, open up the rib cage, open up the hips, and just see if you can feel that downward action of that point all the way down into your feet. And we're aiming for the second to little toe, okay, right down there. See how far down you can feel that downward action working. And if you can feel it all the way down to your feet, that's a great sign that we've opened up the gallbladder channel and we've released all the fascia in the body enough for you to feel that connection. Okay, so open up the rib cage. Diaphragm, keep that really free. Okay, excellent. Okay, and now this is another really good way of emphasizing that downward action, is to squeeze your gallbladder 21 up towards your ears. Breathe in, and then slowly and determinedly breathe out. Actually, it's not that slow, it's a fairly quick one. Breathe in. Okay, they're very good. So squeezing up the gallbladder 21. Okay, and then what you can do is massage this area, just squeezing around, give it another little tap, brush down the arms, like this, and then brush down the sides of the body. Let's just really vigorously brush down the sides of the body here, down into the hips, and then down into the feet. Whoa, what a lovely way to spend an hour. Okay, so let's just check in, okay? Compared to what we were like just an hour ago, okay. Feel the connection with the earth. Feel the spine opening up. And feel that final action of that gallbladder 21, settling our energy right the way down through our body to our feet. And it's that combination of kidney 1 nurturing from below and anchoring us to the earth with the yin, and this gallbladder 21 moving the yang energy down the body. That's such a powerful balancing action that brings us into our center. Okay, 3 breaths, breathing in, breathing out. sinking down, floating up, opening up that kidney 1, keeping that head floating. Okay, there we are. Thank you very much. Look at that, we're 1 minute over. I don't know. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Thank you, Dinah, for looking after everyone. Whee, brilliant. Okay, good. So here we are. Going to put a heart on the chat. Hope you enjoyed the session. And we'll see you again. See you again next Wednesday. In fact, I think it's the final. Pretty much. No, not quite. I think we've got a couple more points of the week left. But yeah, soon we'll be finishing the gallbladder and the liver points. Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to check the calendar and see. Yeah, we've got, actually, we know, yes, it's the 30th. The Wednesday's the 30th. So we've got 2 more gallbladder Wednesdays, and then we'll be into December, and it'll be time to run up to the end of the year, and we will then have completed our complete circuit right around the whole Meridian system. Okay, here we go. See you next week. Have a fantastic week, and keep that kidney 1 open. Here we go. Time to close up the session. Thank you, Dinah. End the session. See you next time.